Hello and welcome to the launch of the Purdue Alumni Medical Network. My name is Clayton Hicks.
And I'm Carl Russell.
And we will be your MCs for the evening. And for those of you joining us online on Teams, we have Stephanie Bonebrake in the back managing all of your questions that come in. And to begin our evening, please welcome up Vice President of Engagement at the Purdue for Life Foundation, Jillian Henry.
Well, good evening, everyone. I am so excited to see so many people here and online. This is a fantastic evening for us because we are able to launch another way to help alumni, friends, and fans to stay connected, get involved, and give back. That's what our mission is with the Purdue for Life Foundation. Anyone who loves Purdue can find a way to get involved with Purdue, can find a way to engage and network with their fellow alumni or friends, and can find a way to give back to this amazing institution that is Purdue. And you've taken that first step today, either by being one of our committee members to help launch this event, or by supporting this as one of our alumni friends or fans. So let's just give yourself a round of applause for being here. My name is Jillian Henry, and I'm the Vice President of Engagement for the Purdue for Life Foundation. And it's my privilege to lead the programs that help people to stay connected, get involved, and give back. These are many of the programs that you would have recognized through the Purdue Alumni Association. And one of the areas that has grown more than anything has been our affinity networks. We've created 7 additional affinity networks just in 3 years. Because what we're realizing is that there are so many Boilermakers who have an interest in getting together with other alumni that have a like mind when it comes to their personal or professional or intellectual lives. And so this is one of those examples. We had this idea from our First Lady, and we ran with it because there's been such an outpouring of support for this. I know that the volunteers are going to speak to this more, but when we did our first call out, I think we had between 700 and 800 people raise their hand and say, I'm interested in getting involved, or I'm interested in volunteering, or I'm interested in mentoring. Which kind of leads me to my next example, and you're going to hear more about this from our amazing committee. But what is an affinity network here for? What does it actually do? Well, there are really 3 tenets that come about from any affinity network. One is engagement. We want you to engage with each other, and we want you to engage back with the university. So we're going to hear from some experts about how to do that. One is mentorship. Our vision is that we are mentoring our next generation of leaders here at Purdue, but also helping to mentor each other. I mean, don't we all learn from each other in some capacity, and sometimes we're looking for a peer mentor. And one is philanthropy, so that we can give back and support this amazing institution. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Purdue for Life, but without my voice. We're going to actually do that through a video. So I'd like to go ahead and cue up our Purdue for Life video.
Stay connected, get involved, give back. We help people who love Purdue do just that. The Purdue for Life Foundation was created in 2020 by uniting the Purdue Alumni Association and the University Development Office. We're here to serve and advance Purdue, working across the West Lafayette campus and far beyond it. Purdue for Life offers you opportunities to engage with the university throughout your lifetime. Whether you're a graduate, friend, or fan, Purdue for Life offers countless ways for you to show your love for the old gold and black. At a high level, Purdue for Life includes the Purdue Alumni Association, President's Council, John Purdue Club, and the Parents and Families Club. The Purdue Foundation Student Board and Purdue Alumni Student Experience, or PACE, the largest student organization on campus, are also part of Purdue for Life. We connect Boilermakers throughout the world to the university through region and interest-based clubs and networks. In fact, we have more than 70 alumni clubs around the country, international alumni networks in more than 100 cities across the globe, and 11 affinity networks. And we're just getting started. Our flagship digital magazine, Purdue Alumnus, and monthly digital newsletter, Boiler Update, are 2 ways we help you stay connected. Our Boilermaker Station Welcome Center is the main hub for visiting alumni, fans, and prospective students, and serves as the launchpad for all admissions tours. We welcomed more than 40,000 visitors in 2022. We're offering a wealth of new and expanded opportunities for you to get involved through alumni living, lifelong learning, volunteerism, mentorship, and travel. And you don't want to miss our signature events. There are countless opportunities for people who love Purdue to give back and make an impact. and what an impact you made during the fiscal year that just ended. The collective generosity of our Purdue family reached a historic high. Talk about a giant leap. You are powering Purdue. Thanks to you, Purdue continues to strengthen its reputation in teaching and research while remaining affordable and accessible to brilliant young minds. And because of you, Purdue is stronger than ever. Together, through small steps and giant leaps, we can grant even more opportunities for future Boilermakers as we ensure Purdue grows ever stronger.
It's our privilege at Purdue for Life and our persistent pursuit to help people who love Purdue stay connected, get involved, and give back. On behalf of our entire team, thank you for helping Purdue take the next giant leap. Boiler up.
And now it's my extreme privilege to welcome to the stage Purdue's First Lady and internal medicine physician at IU Arnett, our First Lady, Dr. Kay Hui.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to see you all here. And you know what? I think we're making history again. This is actually the first time that we have so many medical or healthcare entity, different experts, academic or clinical experts gathering together. And thank you. And you know, we are blessed with a beautiful day again, right? We have a really exciting weekend and the past week, and now it continues the beautiful blessings. And I'm just want to welcome all of you to Westwood, which we call it, Meng and I call it our house, and and we have 3 kids, in the background in the kitchen, and they'll be running around soon. But as you can see, this house actually was gifted by our previous former CFO, Dr. Abby Stewart, and 50 years ago, and we celebrated the 50 years of anniversary last year. You can see those are posters, all the residents resided after the gift of this residence area. And so about a year ago when I first came here, Dean Reed and also Dean Barker actually took their time. Each spent more than 2 hours to tour me around the campus, and I knew that we don't have a human medical school or human hospital, but it's just such a eye-opening experience to see how much we have in this campus without human medical school and human hospital. And I tour different schools and colleges, right? And HHS, pharmacy, vet school, and also I went to different symposiums and talked to our alumni, students, and just have the idea of wouldn't it be wonderful if we can gather together, we create a platform for everyone from the healthcare field together annually or biannually. And so I start to talk to the team and also Purdue for Life Foundation, and they make it happen. And so today we have 26 organizing, or we call launch committee members with the 4 lead co-chairs. You can see their pictures here, and they truly are completely just volunteering, and they have their full-time job and just very busy life. Some even have to drive back and forth, and truly appreciate. So a big shout out to all of them. Thank you again. And of course, our organizing committee and also the staff from the First Lady's office and our catering team led by Anthony today. And it's just completely a wonderful day to get together. Now, we have representatives from different colleges and schools. Besides our guest speakers we're going to introduce real soon, we also have Professor Debbie Knapp representing VetMed, and Professor David Yumlis representing BME, and also our new Indy campus. We have a lot of medical researchers or going on there as well, and also Professor William Clark representing IU School of Medicine today, and welcome. If you have any questions after this forum or during the forum, you can approach them to ask. So I just cannot wait to see this affinity group to grow and provide, besides networking and mentorship, actually we also have a dream, is to bring positive impact to our community and our state and maybe our nation, and which I believe we can do that because we are Purdue University. Now, it's my highest pleasure to introduce today's special guest. He is the biggest support of this networking behind the scene. So our Purdue University, our staff, our alumni and students all make him so proud, and he's been bragging about Purdue every single day, and even in his own award acceptance, and he spent like more than 7 out of 8 minutes talking about Purdue University in another state. So, and I found it pretty interesting. And I thought I might have heard him bragging about Purdue University students and faculty alumni in his dreams. And so I would like to introduce, and he is our president, President Chang. That's Chang.
I wasn't invited to the party. Right? Pete, you know that. I just got home, picked up the kids, and said, hey, there's a party going on here. I wonder what is it about? Well, it turns out to be about the most important thing at this university in our society. And I didn't say that just because my wife and boss just introduced me. But I better watch out what I say when I'm sleeping. I hope I didn't say anything too crazy except about basketball. All right. By the way, First Lady, the real doctor in the house here, and also the biggest fan of our basketball teams. What a week last week. National championship game, the largest single economic development deal in the history of the state of Indiana, and then a total solar eclipse with the totality of Purdue to the totality of Indianapolis, including especially with all the health and life science disciplines from West Lafayette to all the urban environment-enabled opportunities in life and health sciences in Indianapolis. Now, today, this is such an incredible moment to see all of you here and to talk about something that are not as appreciated at Purdue, perhaps. But I think of our great faculty, staff, students, and alumni in the medical fields, just like the Zach Eady, the Lance Jones, the Braden Smith, and many of the other great names on our basketball teams. And I actually wanted our deans to stand up and say, they are the Zach Eadys. You can measure their height in their respective fields. Too tall. And the amazing Surgeon General, who's been a great ambassador for Purdue in everything medical related. I was told that if I give the remarks more than 3 minutes, I'll never be invited back to any future important parties. So I'm going to keep it brief, but I can't help but to tell you our kids, they're now back in the kitchen. They would say, Dad, what kind of doctor are you? People call you doctor. We have a paper cut, you don't know what to do. A nosebleed, you don't know what to do. You are not the doctor. Mom is the doctor. Mom is the real doctor. And after a long day, we come back and say, all right, who's going to wash the dish tonight? Well, tonight, I think we're covered with a great team here. But another night, and I'll ask Kay and say, all right, what did you do today? And she asked me, what did you do today? I said, well, you tell me first. She said, I saved a few lives. She doesn't say it in those words, but a very humble person. But I said, hey, you know what? I had a lot of meetings. It's about the same. It's about the same, isn't it? So, and it's not just this, inferiority complex in my head that makes me big supporter, the biggest, I hope, supporter of this Purdue Alumni Medical Network, this new affinity group. But truly is because this is the future of all major research universities. This ought to be the future of this university. And we have many amazing alumni in these fields. We look forward to the November get-together. We'll have to invest more here in West Lafayette and in Indianapolis, in human resources and in physical resources. We'll have to invest more in One Health, human health, animal health, and plant health together. We have to invest more in life sciences and how that's going to impact our teaching and research and engagement service missions of this public land-grant institution. We have already great track record. We are the leading expert in the world in many areas. Our colleagues have been saving lives every day. Now it's time to do even more. It takes the village, and what a village we've got here. Congratulations on the creation of the Purdue Alumni Medical Network. I'm going to give it back to my boss now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Cheng and President Hui. Now, I want my distinct pleasure in introducing our interim launch committee co-leads, Dr. Stephanie Stahl, Andrea Brezel, Nicole Noel, and Dr. Brian Daniels.
Thank you, Carl. So my name is Nicole Noel. I'm one of our co-leads for our fantastic launch committee that we have formed. I am a 2008 graduate of our College of Pharmacy from the PharmD program. Currently work at Innovative Rx Strategies as a clinical and account lead management. Two of our co-leads could not be here today due to prior engagements. Andrea Brezel is a physician assistant and very proud graduate of Purdue as well. And then Dr. Brian Daniels has another commitment, but he is a sports medicine physician, I believe located in Florida. But yeah, they couldn't be here today, so I will let Stephanie introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stephanie Stahl. I'm a 2006 Purdue graduate majoring in neurobiology and physiology. I'm a sleep medicine physician and neurologist at Indiana University Health in the Indianapolis area. I serve in a lot of other roles, including the director of the Sleep Medicine Fellowship Program at IU School of Medicine, and also the vice chair of the American Academy of Sleep Medicine's Education Committee. So as Jillian mentioned, the three main goals of the Purdue Affinity Networks, including our new medical network, are philanthropy, mentorship, and engagement. And tonight we have remarkable guest speakers to talk about each of those three pillars, starting with philanthropy. Those of us in the medical field have a strong desire to help others, and I have no doubt that we will contribute in a big way, including initiating an endowed scholarship program. To kick off our philanthropy discussion is Dr. Eric Barker, whom Clayton will further introduce to us.
So yes, I have the pleasure of introducing Dean Eric Barker. Dean Eric Barker currently serves as the Jeannie and Jim Chaney Dean of Pharmacy and Professor of Medicinal Chemistry and Molecular Pharmacology, as well as serving as the Acting Associate Provost for Graduate Programs at Purdue University. Please give a warm welcome to Dean Barker.
Well, good afternoon, evening. It's a pleasure to be with you all, and it is exciting to see all of our medical professionals together. I do have the daunting task to lead this off a little bit. When you have to talk about philanthropy, people get a little bit nervous about what you're going to say, but I would really ask you all to think about giving in the broadest sense. And we really want to encourage all of our folks to think about how you give your time, talent, and treasure. And so there's tremendous opportunity for this group to engage with our students, to serve as mentors to our students, to undergraduates who are trying to figure out their path forward, perhaps in the medical field, to high school students who are trying to figure out if they want to pursue a medical career of some sort. You all in your communities, in your positions, have the opportunity to influence these young folks, and I hope that you'll do that. That many of you also will be invited to speak in classes. That's another way to give back, to come and be a guest lecturer, to connect with students through courses, and really be in that network. And so as an alumni group, each of the colleges usually has some sort of alumni network, alumni group that connects to our students. And so that's one way that you can certainly give of your time and your talent. On the philanthropy, true philanthropy side, in terms of giving, we are so grateful for the extraordinary support that each of you gives in so many ways to support particularly scholarships. I believe Purdue University health profession programs have the lowest tuition in the Big Ten, and that is a list that we are very proud to be at the bottom of. And it is largely due to our commitment to frozen tuition, but it is also due to the extraordinary generosity that supports scholarships at an extraordinary level. We are one of the, for example, we are one of the few schools of pharmacy in the country that is able to give over $1 million of scholarship to our students every single year, thanks to the tremendous generosity of our alumni and friends. So we are very, well, that's worth clapping for. Our team stands ready to talk about creative solutions for major gifts, support of research, facilities, faculty. All of these are things that contribute to the reputation of our programs here at Purdue. And we found that we can do things that most cannot imagine, and that they can support at levels that they can't imagine through the creativity of our teams. And so what at minimum I would ask is, if you get a call from one of our development officers, that you take the visit and learn about what's going on here. Take that call and learn about the innovative ways that you can give back to Purdue. I would be remiss if I didn't call out Call out April 24th. In just 2 weeks is the Purdue Day of Giving, celebration of generosity here at Purdue University. It is an extraordinary day on our campus where we see amazing things happen, amazing gifts supporting Purdue University. There is something for everyone that day, gifts of all sizes. It is not about the size of the gift that matters. It is about participation. Participation that demonstrates our affinity for Purdue and the love that we all have for this place and we have for Purdue. And then one specific example of how philanthropy impacts our campus in a very tangible way. As many of you know, we did the ceremonial groundbreaking for the new pharmacy and nursing education building in November. We are excited about the opportunity to have a human clinical medicine education facility on this campus, and this facility will be like none other on campus. And it is a true partnership between pharmacy and nursing that has allowed us to do this. But more than that, when we set out 7 years ago to come up with this idea, philanthropy was at the root. Through the generosity of our alumni and friends, we raised over $40 million in private support for this project before we even had board approval or state approval. And we were able to flip the narrative. Normally we go to the state and say, you give us $120 million, we'll go raise $40 million and finish it off. This time we went and said, we've raised the $40 million, you give us the rest and we finish this out and get it done. And so I said, this will help drive our priorities, and it's going to impact students for generations and generations because of the extraordinary generosity that so many supported for a project in its infancy. In fact, we were the most successful private fundraising project in Purdue's history at that phase. And so we are so grateful to everyone who have supported the pharmacy nursing project, but it's an example where giving doesn't always drive priorities, but it certainly can grease the wheel and help us move forward. And so we are so grateful for all that folks have done to get us to that point. So again, thank you for all you are going to do, continue to do for our faculty, staff, and students, and hail Purdue.
Our second speaker on philanthropy tonight is previously the head of the Department of Biochemistry from 2015 to 2022. That is Dr. Andrew Messakar, who is a distinguished professor of biochemistry and the Robert W. Miller Director of the Purdue Institute for Cancer Research. He also serves as an assistant vice president of research. And as a very proud biochemistry grad, I'm very proud to announce Dr. Andrew Messakar. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Messakar.
Thank you, Clayton. And this is one of the best products that we have at Purdue University. Are our students who are continuing, he's a biochem grad at Purdue, and continuing in the health field, right? This is what we do here at Purdue. Titles are great. My favorite ones are Dad, Husband, and Boilermaker. All right, I'm class of 1988 in chemistry. Never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be here talking to you all. I was probably more thinking about basketball back at that time, and sad. But what I'm really happy about is to tell you what our Purdue Institute for Cancer Research is about very briefly, and how it's driven by our alumni and by the philanthropy, and how important and impactful it is. In 3 weeks, we're going to have finals. And as a professor, and you're all alumni, answer the following question for me by raising your hand. How many people have heard of the Purdue Institute for Cancer Research? Well, that's better than some of the audiences I've been in. How many of you know it's been here for 45 years? Fewer hands. All right, we have been an NCI, National Cancer Institute designated center for 45 years now, okay? And there are only 72 of these in the United States that are designated, and there are over 1,800 cancer centers, all right? Ours is a basic science center, and it's one of only 7 in the United States. There's 4 on the East Coast, 2 on the West Coast, and we're the only one in the entire center of the United States. We can't be a clinical center for humans, as you heard Kay say, but we treat about every other animal on the planet, and canines are one of our big fur baby patients, all right? Philanthropy. All right, we bring in dollars from the federal government, $2.2 million a year, and that actually pays for all of our administrative costs and everything else. When you donate to Purdue University and designate money to go towards our Purdue Institute for Cancer Research, we are leveraging all of that money that we've brought in from state and federal, pays for our salaries, and it goes directly to research, dollar for dollar, all right? You can't get that at most other foundations, right? I would love to have $1 million CEO salary, but I don't, all right? But it's paid for by the state and the federal governments, so you don't have to worry about that. Your money goes directly into research. And why is that impactful? Another question, how many of you have always had a brilliant idea? And sometimes, there you go, Pete's got one. And you go and you want to pitch it, and everybody's like, you're nuts, you're crazy. That's too out there, okay? Because it's too innovative. You would think that our government would pay for innovative ideas. No, they like kind of the status quo. When we do philanthropy and it comes in, it goes to innovative ideas, ideas that will transform cancer care in the United States, all right? Case in point. In 2016, 2017, we were looking at how we can make investments and what we can do to bring drugs to market. Professor Phil Lau and his company Endocyte had something on the shelf. They had an imaging agent for prostate, well, they thought could be used for prostate cancer, but they weren't developing it because they didn't have the resources. Our institute looked at that and said, can we raise money to actually do a clinical trial? So we raised about $500,000 for one patient, all right, for an imaging trial. That's how much it can cost, all right? But it was so successful by lighting up prostate cancer that Endocyte decided to develop it, all right? And so fast forward now, over the last 2 years, that investment has now become, with this year will be a blockbuster drug for the treatment of stage 4 metastatic prostate cancer. Okay, that's a blockbuster is over $1 billion per year. Most importantly, it's going to save lives. It's going to improve lives. That's innovation. There's a lot of that at Purdue. We have over 150 patents in the last 5 years from Purdue researchers, okay, just waiting to see the light of day. We've created Boilermaker Health Innovations, which is philanthropy supported, which is there to make those sorts of developments happen. When you do philanthropy through Purdue and through our Purdue Institute for Cancer Research, it's not just a unit. You are actually, there are 18 departments, 7 colleges, 119 faculty members, and 600 students that are all doing cancer research on this campus. And so those funds go to supporting any of the colleges or the departments that you may have belonged to when you were an alumni or when you were back here. Okay, so think about that. Impact, supporting across Purdue, and changing the world. So I just end it there and say thank you for all your support and continued support. If you wake up tomorrow morning, we have a 5K to get you going. And all that money goes into our challenge race, and we raise about $100,000 a year for that. And it goes directly 100% into funding research on this campus. It stays at Purdue. It stays in our community.
All right, well, good evening. My name is Emily Buatois, and I'm one of the members of the Medical Network Launch Committee, standing in for one of our co-chairs who wasn't able to be here. But I have the pleasure to introduce the second pillar, which is mentorship. And the Purdue for Life Foundation has a mentorship program that's on the Purdue Ties platform. Purdue Ties is like the LinkedIn for Purdue, a home for everybody who loves Purdue. There's lots of students on there. And so we, as alumni, can connect with students who are looking for mentorship in their respective fields. And more information will be forthcoming for those alumni among us who are interested in mentoring a current Purdue student. You're more than welcome to visit PurdueTies.com or contact Maria Whipple for more information.
Excellent. I'm on Purdue Ties. It's a great network. I've had some great students, so I encourage all of you to join it. But next up, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Aaron Bowman. Dr. Aaron Bowman is the president-elect of the International Neurotoxicology Association, serves on the U.S. Department of Labor's Advisory Board on Toxic Substances and Worker Health, and currently holds the position as the interim dean of the College of Health and Human Sciences. Please welcome Dr. Aaron Bowman.
Wow, what a great day. It brought me a smile to be asked to talk about mentorship. Mentorship to me is a core value of our health and of our medical professions. It is how we sustain our passion for human health, for improving lives, generation after generation after generation. So I invite you right now to think about your mentor. Maybe you're having troubles deciding. Many of you might have had more than one mentor. And what does that do? How do you feel, right? So what is a mentor? So I would say a mentor is not defined as a friend. Mentors have to tell us the hard news. Mentors have to help us realize the challenges and help us to correct our mistakes. Mentors are also our champions. They help us to succeed. In the course of my career, I have been mentored every step of the way. I would not be here today if it were not for my mentors. Behind me is my mentors everywhere. When I was a postdoc at Baylor College of Medicine, my mentor within the first couple months told me, "I don't like this data, you're not going to that conference." I was bummed, really bummed. But I thought about it, and I worked harder, and it was one of the many steps that brought me in front of you today. I have had the opportunity in my life to mentor as well as being mentored. Mentorship is a lifelong pursuit, a lifelong devotion. I have had the pleasure of mentoring several students. Before I was here at Purdue, I was basic translational scientist in departments of pediatrics and neurology at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. I had colleagues, physician scientist colleagues. I had peer mentorship with my colleagues. We developed fantastic ideas, very fun science no time to tell you about it. I'm sorry. Maybe after. I have, though, the opportunity to mentor several students that are now practicing physicians. One medical scientist training program student went from my lab into a residency in neurosurgery at Stanford, did basic science in my laboratory. Another recent medical graduate, when he joined my lab, went on to do residency and fellowship, now is in the interventional cardiology, electrophysiology. The underlying score of their success is their ability to engage in research, which is the fundamental underlying principle of evidence-based medicine, which drives our medical and health community today. So I'm very proud of that. So now think about, I invited you to think about your mentors, now think about those that you mentor. And think about the joy that that brings you. I think the phrase, "it is in giving that we receive," is very well captured in the principle of mentorship. It is by giving to those that we mentor that we get the greatest satisfaction, I think, of our professional careers in seeing their successes. Whatever success we might see ourselves is amplified in those that we mentor. So, again, my pleasure to talk about mentorship today. I invite you all to continue that mentorship journey, to think about ways of engaging in students at all levels, to engaging with faculty at all levels, and engaging with your peer at all levels. I'm going to end there. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bowman. It's my pleasure to introduce Reshma Anwar. She's a third-year biomedical engineering major currently serving the needs of many healthcare-interested students as the president of the award-winning student organizations Caduceus Club and Project Icarus. Let's give a warm welcome to Reshma.
Thank you for the introduction, Carl. Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be here and represent thousands of my fellow Boilermakers who are interested in pursuing a career in healthcare. And before I tell you more about what I've learned as the president of 2 medically focused organizations on campus, I wanted to start off with a little story that highlights the importance of mentorship. So the spring of my sophomore year, I took a class with Dr. Charles Babbs. The class was on physiological modeling. But if any of you know Dr. Babbs, you know that you cannot, I saw a nod, you know that you cannot take one of his classes without hearing a lot of stories from his past. And so one story in particular stood out to me. It was the story of Dr. Michael DeBakey. So Dr. DeBakey was the first person to perform a successful aortic dissection repair surgery. And people all over the nation would fly over to see him in Methodist Hospital in Texas to be operated on by him. Dr. Babbs talked about people coming from Alaska for emergency surgeries. And along his journey, he made sure to mentor several people so that way people could continue doing the surgery after his retirement. And one afternoon after he retired, he was in his 90s, and he was sitting at home with his wife, and he felt a pain that was really, really familiar to him because he spent his whole life studying it. It was a sharp stabbing pain in his chest that occurred with every heartbeat, which is the typical presentation of aortic dissection. And so his wife drove him to the hospital, the same hospital that he worked at his entire career, and she was begging all of these surgeons to operate on him. And nobody was trying to operate on him because he created the surgery and then want to kill him with the same surgery that he created. And so eventually one of the surgeons stepped up and he said, "I'll do it, prep him." And that surgeon was one of his mentees, Dr. George Noon. And so he was able to save Dr. DeBakey's life using the techniques that Dr. DeBakey taught him. And so when I first heard this story, it really motivated me to go into medicine because I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. But then once I thought about it more after being the president of a couple clubs and starting some mentorship programs, I realized that it's a really good story highlighting the importance of mentorship. And so moving on to more things that are related to Purdue, I wanted to give you guys an understanding of the impact that guidance from medical professionals can have on undergraduate students. And so to do this, I surveyed members of the Caduceus Club, which is the largest pre-health organization on campus. And so I asked them a couple questions. The first was, when asked if speaking and shadowing medical professionals provided them with inspiration and or caused a shift in their career path, 91% of our members responded yes. When asked if they found it difficult to contact healthcare professionals to shadow, interview, or work with, 89% of our members responded yes. And finally, when asked if talking to healthcare professionals about their careers made them feel more reassured about their goals for professional school, 100% of our members responded yes. So from this data, you can extract two main takeaways. The first is that students deeply appreciate it when healthcare providers take time out of their busy schedules to talk about their careers with them. The second is that a student will always say yes when given the opportunity to speak with one of you all. It's in my belief that this is because students will spend all 4 years in undergrad taking classes, reading books, to prove to professional programs that they're worthy of admission. But the truth is you can't learn anything about professional programs or being a medical professional from said curriculum. And you can't learn the lessons taught by mentorship in any book or any class. Mentorship is truly an invaluable experience. My goal is that after you all leave here today, you are more likely to say yes to that student that wants to hear more about your career or allow a student to shadow you. After all, you could be creating your own George Noon. Thank you.
Thank you, Reshma. And I love, it's the Purdue way that she had some research integrated into her talk today. So I have the pleasure of introducing our third and final pillar today of engagement. There are many ways to engage, and one of them is you guys have already checked one box. We're here at the Affinity Network, and we're here at the launch. And as I believe Kay mentioned, we had over 700 to 800 people involved and want to be involved in this organization. So we're already engaging, but how do we engage further? You've heard some of them today: engage with our students, engage with fellow alumni, engage with friends of the university. One of the events that you'll be hearing about, another way to engage, is as Boilermakers, we love to learn. We like lifelong commitment to learning. There will be a medical symposium that we'll be talking about in the next couple months that will be held in November. So think of, as you go through this process, we're gonna have some great speakers on engagement, but think about how you can continue to engage within the network, within your communities, within your medical experiences, and there's always opportunities, and I don't know a healthcare professional that genuinely can say no to an opportunity. We are usually overcommitting ourselves because we like to engage and we like to give back. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Clayton, who will introduce our next speaker.
Previously serving as the 20th United States Surgeon General, Dr. Jerome Adams currently serves as a Presidential Fellow and the Executive Director of Purdue's Health Equity Initiatives. He is a licensed anesthesiologist and Distinguished Professor of Practice in the Departments of Pharmacy Practice and Public Health. Please give it up for Dr. Adams.
Well, good evening, everyone. I am supposed to talk about engagement, and so to do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my engagement journey. We're at Purdue. Everyone knows Purdue for engineering and aerospace, and I'm actually a recovering engineer. It's a true story. I went to space camp when I was growing up and decided I was going to be an engineer and went to college to be an engineer. And I still love engineering. I love the thinking, the processes that it instilled in me. But I wanted more engagement with people. And I actually went to an event similar to this one when I was an undergrad, and I actually, at that event, got to meet Dr. Ben Carson. And so you heard about mentorship earlier. This is a true story. Before that point, I had never met a black doctor in my life. I'd never met someone who looked like me, who came from a community like me, who I could relate to, who was a physician. And that changed my life. It changed my trajectory to speak to the importance of mentorship. So I decided to go to medical school. Went to medical school, really enjoyed my time in medical school, but I found that I was taking care of individual patients, but I wasn't changing their trajectory or changing the health outcomes of their communities. I wanted more engagement, and so I got my master's in public health. And I'm really proud of the Purdue Department of Public Health here. It's an opportunity that students here have to get exposure to a field that I didn't get exposed to in my undergraduate career and my medical school career. And so I leaned into public health, became an anesthesiologist, and realized that I'm doing as much as I feel I can do as a doctor, as a public health advocate, but I'm still not ultimately changing trajectories in the way I would like. So I got involved in policy making and got on the radar screen of then Congressman Mike Pence, who became Governor Mike Pence, and asked me to run his State Department of Health. So I ran the State Department of Health during Ebola, during Zika, during a large HIV crisis, was able to change laws in our state that are still having an impact today. Governor Pence became Vice President Pence, and I became Surgeon General of the United States, and I think most of you all know that story. We were able to lean into increasing availability of naloxone, an opioid overdose reversal agent, and during that time I actually came back to Purdue, and we talked a lot with Dean Barker about making naloxone more available, about destigmatizing substance misuse on campus. Again, was able to engage in a way that many doctors aren't able to. And of course, COVID. And one of the lessons learned positively and negatively from COVID is that we need more engagement. So after that time, I had to decide where to go. And IU, which is my alma mater, wanted me to come back there. And I'd been really focused on social drivers of health, things like transportation, things like housing, things like childcare, the built environment. As we often say, your zip code is more important than your genetic code in determining overall health. And if I went back to IU, no offense to anyone here who's from IU, I got my degree there and I still have an appointment there. I still practice clinical anesthesia 1 day a week at IU. But I was going to be doubling down on that same old medical model that failed me, that wasn't giving me that engagement that I wanted. And so I said, if I come to Purdue and I want to address diabetes, I can talk to the best ag folks in the world and talk about how our food is designed and how our food is grown. If I want to talk about zoonotic disease, like I was doing yesterday in Washington, D.C., as we were discussing H5N1, I can call up my friend Willie Reed and learn about zoonotic diseases and what they're doing to prevent the spread of bird flu amongst cattle. If I want to talk about the built environment, I can talk to our civil engineers and talk about how we build bridges. Baltimore, that's my hometown. I went over the Key Bridge hundreds of times in my career. Now people can't get back and forth to work. They can't get to their doctor's appointments. That's going to impact health. So many ways at Purdue that I can lean in to these social drivers of health. And so I came to Purdue because it was scratching my engagement itch. I'm the director of health equity here now, and I'm committed to creating opportunities for students, for faculty, for staff, and for the community to further engage. And you heard about many of the events that we have. We've had Dr. Francis Collins, the NIH director, here on campus. We've had Rahul Gupta, the Office of National Drug Control Policy director. We've had Judy Monroe, the CDC Foundation director. And in just a few weeks, we're going to have Antonia Novella, the first Latina Surgeon General, coming to Indiana. We're going to be hosting her. And we'll keep you all posted through the Alumni Network, but we want you to come and engage with your colleagues within your disciplines. We want you to come through this network, and I want to give Kay credit for this. This network is not just about doctors. It's about bringing together the entire team, the entire care team, pharmacists, nurses, public health officials and advocates, veterinarians. And we want you to have that interdisciplinary engagement. We want you to engage with students because, again, you could be somebody's Ben Carson. You could be the reason they change their trajectory and change their career. And we also want to engage with your organizations. All of you work somewhere or have worked somewhere. And our students need learning opportunities. In many cases, those institutions want to know how to give back, or they want to tap into the expertise of the folks who we're working with. Reshma, she and I work together a lot, and I've learned far more from her and her students about what's going on the ground level in terms of the challenges that our communities face than what I feel I'll ever be able to impart to her. These are opportunities that you have not just to give to them, but for them to give back to you. And so I'm really appreciative of the opportunity to be here at Purdue University. I'm appreciative of the opportunity that's given me as a health care provider to actually engage in a way that I would not have been able to engage otherwise in that traditional medical model and those silos that we fit into. And I really encourage you all to lean into this new network, to lean into the opportunity that will provide for you to engage, because I guarantee you, you will be more fulfilled if you do so. So thank you very much, and appreciate the time to address you all today.
Our final guest speaker of the night is Brian Tabor. He is the president of the Indiana Hospital Association. He also serves on several governing boards, including the APCD Advisory Council, the Governor's Public Health Commission, and more. Another warm welcome for Brian Tabor.
All right, well, to kind of steal a line from Mung a little bit, following Jerome is like checking in for Zach Eady. It's kind of like, especially also being the last speaker, it's kind of like, who is this guy, and can we hurry it up so we can get back to the desserts. But I just want to say, what an opportunity. I want to thank Kay as well for bringing this idea forward. Because when I think engagement, there's two sides of that. And Jerome, touched on these, and I'll just maybe expound a little bit. There is so much opportunity in Indiana, and Purdue is so well positioned, I think, to unlock this potential. So engagement from this group, what we can do, those of us that are here tonight that are committed to the growth of this network and what it can do for Purdue, but also for the state. I have the honor of representing 170 hospitals as the president of the Indiana Hospital Association, so I get to travel the state a lot. And we have incredible health and medical assets in the state of Indiana that we can plug into this network the way that we can engage with those assets. It is going to unleash tremendous potential for the state and the university. We have one of the leading clusters of medical device manufacturing in Northeast Indiana. We also have one of the most valuable privately held entities in Cook Medical. I know they have a presence on campus. You think about the engineers, the physicians that work in those industries with those manufacturers and what they do for patients. It's incredible. We have, again, really by value anyway, the most significant pharmaceutical company in the world here in Indiana, led by a Boilermaker. The potential there is just incredible in what Lilly is doing for patients, but also for the state in terms of economic development with major expansions here. And a little bit closer to my world, hospital CEOs. We have some of the leading healthcare executives across the state, from Northwest Indiana to Southwest Indiana, organizations led by Purdue graduates. So excited about that. I think what Purdue is also going to be able to do with the MHA program, I see my friend Dr. Cody Mullen back there, right, kind of helping to keep that going. I think there's so much potential for us all to leave tonight to go out and engage with those folks and bring them into what we're doing here and what is starting tonight, thanks to Kay and others who are supporting this. But then what are we going to do? What are we going to give back? What is that engagement with the community? And I certainly can't speak as well to that as Dr. Adams, who's been living that journey and is an exemplar of giving back. But with that engagement, we are so well positioned. I am a Boilermaker undergrad and master's degree. I have a master's in Ag Econ. And that's a little bit of an odd journey to be the president of the Hospital Association, and I get that. But in that department are incredible folks that work in community development. And that's actually where I did some of my work, was in engaging with state and local government and communities. When we talk about public health and the way that we can give back, I would say no one is better positioned to make change across all 92 counties than Purdue University. So you start at the top with the professionals and all the research we've heard about here tonight. Having someone like Dr. Adams and his stature and what he can bring to that, but also just having the boots on the ground and the knowledge to be able to disseminate those best practices to make Hoosiers' lives not just richer in all of the ways that Purdue does today, but also healthier. We have the delivery model, and I am really excited about that. Jerome and I have had some conversations, and I think this network is going to really just unlock that untapped potential. So I thank you all. There are great models here. What Purdue does is see a need and go out and fill it. Just down the road, North Central Health Services, some of you that are local may be familiar with that organization. The partnership that they have, the public-private partnership to focus on public health and bring together providers, social services agencies to make Hoosiers healthier. There are models here even locally around this campus that we can bring to the rest of the state. Filling those needs. Nurses who are trained in psychiatric care. Purdue is looking around the state and saying, how do we engage? How does this university engage? I'm so proud to be a Boilermaker, so proud to be part of this event tonight. And I think we all can go out and engage with that untapped potential. We all know Purdue grads who are in those different places. So get on the phone with them this weekend. Let's take advantage of the Boilermaker momentum with all the excitement around the Final Four and get out there and say, hey, let's get back involved with the university. Do you know about this effort? And then let's also build a strategic vision around how we then go back out and engage with the community. So thank you, and I'm so honored to be a part of tonight.
Holy smokes. I have been a faculty member here for the past 18 years, and this just might be my most favorite day ever. My name is Dr. Libby Richards. I am an associate professor in the School of Nursing and a proud Purdue alumni with a PhD in public health promotion. And it's been my honor and privilege to get to know members of this launch group and be involved in all of the experiences that have culminated in this event. Unfortunately, we are winding down for the evening, but I would like to remind you that we are able to mingle and network until 7:30, so please enjoy this space, network, exchange contact information, and stay engaged with us. We will be taking a photo on the patio with the, nope, I lied. We will be taking a photo right here. You will know where the photo is going to happen. Don't worry. But I do want to end our evening with some thanks. I want to deeply thank the Purdue for Life team, Maria Whipple and Stephanie Bonebrake, for leading us through this journey. There were many emails and chats and meetings to help us learn the alumni network system and what it entails to create the Purdue Medical Alumni Network. I also want to extend a very warm thanks to the Westwood staff, Catherine Adair, who was with us along the way in coordinating and organizing this event, and if you know Anthony and his wonderful staff and hospitality, so thank you very much. But last, certainly not least, to Dr. Kay Huey for her collaborative spirit in bringing this together from the very first conversations that we've had. Your passion for health and healthcare and this community and the Purdue community has been beyond evident. And I can say with certainty we would not be here today without your effort and your time and your passion and energy. And we greatly thank you for that. But the good news is this is just the beginning of the Purdue Medical Alumni Network. We will have many more opportunities to engage and come together. I'm very excited to announce that our November Medical and Healthcare Symposium will be November 14th, 15th, and then Penn State Games, 16th. So we hope to see all of you and your fellow Boilermakers again in November. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a safe trip home. I got you, girl. Ever grateful, ever true. Boiler up. Hail Purdue. And we're all going to get to do it together, so don't you worry.